Hey, beautiful souls, beautiful sunshine, here with the R Holistic Healer, aka Sonia B. So I am back with a few different prophetic messages that I received a few days ago. So with that being said, but before I get into this message, I actually want to tell you actually something that I had experienced, and nothing is by coincidence. So I truly believe that this was a situation that was being divinely guided, so that way that you guys may know that even in a situation that God wants us to know, to not to be judge ourselves too harshly, even if we're not, because I know sometimes we all strive to be perfect in a sense, but no one is perfect, okay? But with that being said, let's just say that God was just using me as an example, so that way that you can see, and that way that you can know that He is faithful, and that He is just, if only you just ask for forgiveness, and not only ask for forgiveness, but to repent, and you truly mean it from your heart, okay? Because remember, He knows our heart. So we can sit here and say all day long that, oh my God, like I repent or I ask for forgiveness, but what He judges is our heart, okay? Meaning, like, we can say one thing, we can sit up here and say, oh my God, like I can't stand this person, I hate this person, okay? But He knows your heart, even in the midst of saying what it is that you're saying, okay? Because He knows that sometimes out of impulse, or sometimes we act suddenly in a sense, but we are meant to strive to, be better in a sense, and not so much as come from a place of, come so much from a place that's not really being healed in a sense, because this is what society needs in a sense. Society needs people to pretty much do the inner work, so that way hurt people can stop hurting other people, okay? But let me just tell you really quick what happened to myself, okay? Again, nothing happens by coincidence. So I say all this to say that, just got to the point I was just so frustrated, right? So with that being said, I know you guys hear me talking about, witchcraft and black magic and all that other stuff, but I say all that to say that, I wasn't practicing any witchcraft, but let me just say that my intentions, I was projecting, should I say, I was projecting negative thought towards, let me just say, my neighbor in a sense, because, and I say that to say, because it was just out of frustration. It was out of, feeling like I felt hopeless. I felt like it was a situation of, I felt like my kids were being attacked in a sense, and I felt the need to, thank you, Spirit, you heard that noise, right? I felt the need to, and I guess I feel like for me, like, okay, God wasn't moving quick enough. And it's not the fact that He's not moving quick enough. It's just that He's doing things behind the scenes that I can't necessarily see. But I truly believe that in the instance, again, my message was meant to help somebody out there in a sense, for those people who carry that shame, that guilt, and feel like they can't come to God in a sense. Okay. So nevertheless, I felt like I was meant to experience this so that I could help somebody out there. Anyway, so with that being said, so it was more so of me, projecting towards my neighbor in a sense, like the one who has really been getting on my nerves for like the last 2 years in a sense. I can just be honest about that. But it does one thing to be trying to send me attacks, but to trying to throw stuff at my kids, I felt like that was like a no-no, okay? If you got beef with somebody, you keep it between you and that person, and don't hit home or throw low blows and start targeting kids, okay? That's wrong on all different levels. That's just like, the person for the guy who went and shot up the school with the elementary school, just things like that. Why are you targeting innocent people, take that up with whoever you have an issue with. Don't take that and start directing it towards other people. So I was frustrated. So I say all that to say, thank you, Spirit, because the whole message in all this is some of you guys are going to feel a sense of feeling helpless when it comes down to your kids. So some of you guys may find yourself dealing with an experience like that. So I just want to let you know ahead of time, because it usually happens to me first, and then I am able to basically deliver that message to you guys in a sense, in order to help you. So I just want you to know that some of you guys may find yourself in a situation that you're feeling hopeless, like, again, I'm not telling anyone to go out here and do any hurt, harm, and injury to anybody, okay? Like I said, you heard me say I was projecting negativity. I didn't say I was going over there knocking on her door and dragging her ass out of her house and giving her a beat down and all that other stuff, where it's like, and I just saw 444 as I said that, like the old me would have wanted to do that in a sense, but this is a spiritual warfare. You can't fight physically with something spiritually, because I say all that to say people just looking at you like, okay, you just a attacking her and targeting her for no reason. No, because I see and I know what's going on. Other people don't know, especially if they can't see, if they're not awake to see, in a sense. So it comes off and looks as if I'm the problem. And with all that being said, she just basically, she has this narcissistic tendency, in a sense, like, you know, she plays very innocent, but I feel like it's coward-like behavior. But nevertheless, for whatever reason that she feels like she needs to target me, I don't know, whatever the case may be. But whatever it is that I'm doing in my life, and whatever it is I had to struggle with, whatever it is I had to go through, however hard my life has had to been, you know, if she's jealous of the fact of, you know, things that I have going on, but let me just say I haven't even arrived there yet. But with that being said, you know, I truly believe that sometimes she was just meant to kind of throw me off my path, in a sense, or to keep me blocked, because here's the message that came through. So, okay, as I projected negativity at her, in the sense of, you know, basically just telling her to back the fuck up, and from a spiritual point of view, and, you know, so on and so on. Because, I mean, when I say her whole family, her husband, her 2 kids, even her mama, okay, Lord knows she probably even have the dog doing it too. But with that being said, just making a little joke right there. But with that being said, I can sit here and I can sound like I'm mad all day long, but the point of the matter is God knows my heart, okay? So with that being said, I was just pissed. I had had enough. I was tired. And when my daughter told me that she was experiencing an attack, you know, it pissed me off. It really did. But anyway, so with that being said, okay, so here's the message. So with that being said, now I'm going to show you how this is correlating with everything that I had going on. So that happened to me. Was that yesterday? Yesterday I was feeling like the blunt forces of it, in a sense, because she was trying to send me the shock and all. You know how at the end of a fireworks scene, like they throwing all the firecrackers, all the little grenades and all the other stuff. She was just trying to send me some of everything, okay? So with that being said, but I'm gonna just show you how God showed up in the process of all that, okay? But anyway, let me give you the first message. So the first message that I received was, the first thing God said to me, this was on May 4th. He said, if you're receiving some information that you don't want, act as if you're tossing it out the window. So I don't know who needs to hear that, but if you're receiving some downloads, meaning like some negative thoughts, you know, some, like I said, I really feel like I wanted to, you know, like knock on her door, whatever the case may be, you know, and if it was a girl on girl fight outside, you know, I'm just saying, y'all, I'm just saying. But anyway, but nevertheless, again, that's like a negative thought or whatever I could have thrown out the window, in a sense. So anyway, that came through on May 4th. So another message that came through on May 4th was, I saw an old enemy, and let me just say the enemy I'm dealing with now, which is the next door neighbor. I thought the enemy that I was dealing with back in 2019 I thought that was big. That was nothing compared to what I had been dealing with that one over there, okay? So the funny thing about this was God had revealed to me and showed to me that it was an enemy back in 2019, and God showed me that they were kind of like having an issue with somebody, and that as they're having an issue with somebody, I saw them basically being what's the word? Let's just say I saw them laid flat out on their ass, okay? So that's another message in regards to some people. So some of you guys may either see this or maybe even hear about a situation of maybe either a past enemy or a current enemy, you know, having a situation to where God is allowing them to reap their karma, in a sense, okay? So that came through on May 4th as well, too. And then God also gave me on May 4th, I heard 369, right? I was like, 369, what is that? Because I think I want to say, I think I saw that before, and I don't know if that has something to do with like the Tesla dude, but anyway, but nevertheless. So I Googled what 369 was, right? But it was talking about a form of manifestation. So I was just trying to figure out God's message in regards to this. But basically, God was just saying that, you know, the way I saw this was because I was trying to figure out which message was which, and because it was talking about the meaning for 369, and it was talking about the 369 manifestations, and, you know, each number represents something different. So with that being said, I had heard like a notification noise as soon as I got to the 369 part, and it was just basically talking about, basically, here's what God wants you to do, right? So get a piece of paper, and the 3 represents 3 times in the morning. Write down what it is that you want, okay? What it is that you want God to do in your life. Write it down 3 times in the morning. Let's just say when you get up, or when you get out of bed, or before you start your day. And then at noontime, write that same message down that you wrote in the morning time, write it 6 times, okay? So as you write that 6 times, in the afternoon, which is the noon time, and then at night, right before you go to bed, because I'm hearing Spirit say you're implanting the thought process into your mind right before you go to bed. So whatever it is that you're writing down on that paper is almost like it's being ingrained into your subconscious mind, and it's almost like a form of manifesting while you're asleep, in a sense. So write it 9 times right before you get ready to go to bed. But keep it consistent. You know, like how we used to be in school and teachers used to tell you to, well, write 100 times, blah, blah, blah. I would learn to listen or whatever. Because I know when we had the daycare, I used to have my kids to write that, when they was just having just a hard time or listening or giving somebody else a hard time. I have them write like 100 times, or sometimes 50 times, sometimes 20 times, or whatever the case may be. But nevertheless, so again, 3 times in the morning before you start your day, and 6 times, write that same saying that you wrote 3 times, write it in the afternoon time, and then right before bedtime, write it again 9 times, okay? So this other message that I received, okay, this was the message that I received, which was so not funny, but this was after I had projected negativity at her because I had enough of her, right? So basically what happened was, that night when I went to bed and I dreamed, right? So what God had showed me was and even though energetically I cannot see in my home with my physical eye in a sense, but God was showing me exactly what she was doing in a sense. So in my dream, God was just basically showing me, one, she had been trying to block me in a sense, because in my dream, it was like me and my kids was about to go somewhere, and it's like this fire truck was sitting in front of my car, like parallel to my car. And then it was like another person, not my two parking spots or whatever, but like, let's just say the parking spot to the side of my car, and not my daughter's car, but to the side of my car. So basically, it wasn't the neighbor's car who was parked next to mine, but it was somebody I did not know. So apparently this person who was, sitting next to my car, in a sense, they was like kind of looked like they were fussing with one of the firefighters, but I felt like they were blocking me in because the firefighters was dealing with her, but she was being a distraction. And it was just so much going on. So she was just trying to just send so many distractions to, keep me from doing what it is that I needed to do, right? So not only was the firefighters in front of my car, but the girl who they was talking to, she was fussing and complaining about something. But basically me and the kids was sitting in the car and we was trying to wait to go and move, right? But basically what happened was I was trying to roll up the window to keep the drama out, in a sense, but it's almost like, let's just say it came in a form as if there was another distraction there with, with my kids, in a sense. Like they was just throwing all types of distractions in there, okay? Even trying to use my kids in the process. But and then the other thing was, I had also noticed too that she was using an animal kingdom, in a sense, because there was like a rabbit that was like just pew 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 all over the place, but he kind of bounced his legs off my legs and was kind of having me stumble a little bit, in a sense, right? So that was just letting me know, just trying to throw me off balance. And then it's like when I came back inside, because my car was being blocked, but something just said, go make sure I lock the door. And because I was moving too slow, my daughter in the dream, she basically made it to the door before I did, and she opened up the door and I looked inside. I was like, saying to myself, I was like, what the heck? Like I saw like papers everywhere. So imagine if you take a whole stack of papers, right? Imagine if you take like a whole stack of papers. Let's just say if this whole book right here, if this whole book was a whole stack of papers, and you just take the papers and you throw it up in the air. That was energetically what she had did, because the way I looked when I walked into the house, it was like papers were everywhere. And I thought and these were like business papers. Like they were like business documents. So they were everywhere. So it was just letting me know that she was just trying to scatter stuff, and she was trying to mess up stuff, and energetically, should I say. But anyway, so and then I also saw that she also took and tried to shape shift my desk, in a sense. Like she took my desk and turned it into a dresser drawer instead of it being a desk, okay? And the first thing because when I walked in the door, I was like, what the heck? Oh, really, I was saying, what the hell, right? But and then I looked, and then I was like, where's my desk at? And then I was like, because it had shape shifted into a dresser drawer in a sense, and the first thing I thought to myself, it was her husband in a sense, because he's a handyman at best as well too. But anyway, so with that being said, and then it just so happened that as I was looking at other stuff that was just kind of scattered, so she was just kind of scattering stuff, all throughout my house. It was letting me know that she was just messing with the energy in a sense. And I see a notification. Thank you, Spirit. Anyway, so with that being said, it just so happened that in the dream, I kind of went and checked my kids' room to see if their rooms was okay. Well, one of the rooms was fine, but I just got the feeling like my daughter's room, like she was targeting that room in a sense. And let me just tell you, not only that, but then she was trying to, I tell you, the enemy is busy. And when I tell you busy, I mean busy. Anyway, so with that being said, so when I walked into my daughter's room, I noticed there was stuff scattered all over the place as well, too. And you know how you get out of bed in the mornings and you don't make up your bed, and, the covers are just kind of look like they're bunched up a little bit, or like a hump in the bed. So I looked, and at the top of the bunk bed, I thought to myself, I was like, why is the covers looking like that? Then I heard somebody singing, right? And I looked, and my daughter looked at me, and I looked at her, and I was like, what is that noise? And then it was very faint, and then it got a little louder and louder, and then next thing you know, I see somebody rising up out of the bed, like pulling back the covers. And I'm thinking to myself, I thought to myself, I was like, why is my mom here, right? Thinking that she was in the bed. I was like, she shouldn't be here. Like, why is she in the bed, right? Because I'm thinking she got her own place, right? But anyway, so nevertheless, she woke up singing, and I thought to myself, and something was like, no, that's not right, because my mom don't sing like that anyway. So the first thing I thought to the Spirit was letting me know, like, she's trying to come disguising herself as your mom in a sense, because the first thing she did was she was trying to make it seem like my mom was attacking me, because my mom was like, well, what appeared to be my mom came like this with her fist up, like she wanted to physically attack me in a sense. But I thought to myself, I started saying a prayer, and basically in so many words, kind of like, rebuking her in a sense, and not only that, but just, sending a powerful prayer to her. And at that point, the dream basically ended. So basically, God was just showing me, after, but need I remind you, before me projecting negativity at her, you heard my phone, right? When I was projecting negativity at her, this was her counter attack, should I say. And I guess, like I said, she called herself trying to send me, I guess, the shock and all, because not only that, but she was trying to direct it at my kids. She not only you heard my phone, right? Directed at my kids, directed at my house, trying to direct it at my business. Not only that, but just trying to use, come in disguising herself, looking like my mom in a sense, to start confusion there in a sense, okay? So anyway, like I said before, God wanted me to share this, and this message is going to help somebody. But I say all that to say, let me just say this too. The next day, right, I felt like I was feeling like a little bit, thank you, Spirit. I see another notification. So yesterday, when me and my daughter got ready to walk, my lower back was bothering me, right? So I was like, because yesterday, I was just having a moment. I was just like boo-hooing. I was like snotty nose. I was just like, God, I was like, I don't understand. Why do you allow this lady to sit here and do that? I have not done anything to her. You have revealed all this stuff to me. And I was like, it's one thing for her to be directing her energy at me, but now she fucking with the kids. And that pissed me off in a sense. So I had to really get down deep and dirty yesterday in the sense of just really surrendering to God. And not only that, but just really telling him how frustrated I am. And which is so funny, because that was another one of the messages too, and I'll give it to you in a minute. So I really when I tell you, almost all day yesterday, I was just having a moment with God. I was like, God, I don't understand. Even reminding him of the Bible scriptures, telling him, that you said 10,000 may fall at your left side and 1,000 may fall at your right side, but you will be still standing, and, your word can't come back void. I was just throwing it all out there and just reminding God. But anyway, so with that being said, I say all that to say, that night when I went to bed, right? Let me just say this. Yesterday night when I went to bed, because I was so pissed off, I was so angry, and I just had enough. This shit has been going on for almost like since 2020, almost, since the shutdown. I'm not going to even say that. Almost freaking 4 years. Almost freaking 4 years of dealing with the same old crap, right? And anyway, but with that being said, I had just had enough. I was just tired. But I went to bed that night yesterday after just having a moment with God and just being so frustrated. But as I was sleeping, I can feel her trying to send yet another. I felt like let me say this. I didn't feel the attack, but I knew she was trying to send one because I felt like God's presence came in there. It was either God or the angels. I really felt like it was God's presence or the angels came in there, because it's like I might have been like right here, and then all of a sudden all I felt was something being like shifting me, like moving me safely to another spot in a sense. Okay, so I say all that to say that, even though I told God how I feel, like this woman gets on my nerves, I can't stand her right about now because I'm so frustrated because she, is doing the things that she's doing. And even you don't like evil, God, reminding him that even he doesn't like evil. So, it's just like I'm saying to myself, it's not the person, it's just the acts that really get on my nerves. But because she's doing the acts, it's like, oh my God, like I really can't stand you, right? and I'm just being honest, okay? I'm just saying some stuff that some people want to say, but they don't say it, okay? But with that being said, and basically my lower back was starting to bother me, right? Because at one point in time, my lower back was bothering me. That was just letting me know there was some stuff that needed to be healed in a sense. So when my lower back started bothering me, I was like, okay, wait a minute, Sonia. I said, you've been saying too many things for the last day or so, too many things about, like, okay, because now you're stooping to her level in a sense, like, oh my God, like I can't stand this, I can't stand this bitch, or whatever the case may be, or she getting on my nerves, or whatever the case, just being honest in a sense, like, again, because it's the act of what you're doing. How can you do what you do to another human being? But not only that, but you target their kids in a sense. Like, that's a problem for me. But anyway, thank God I got a sound, peaceful, stable mind, because people will see stuff like that and act on it, and someone can get hurt in the process, and then somebody can find themselves somewhere that they don't want to be down the road. So that's why, and I just saw 222. Anyway, so with that being said, that's why it's important too to have a sound, peaceful, and a stable mind as well too. But anyway, so let me move on. So basically, like I said, my lower back was bothering me, and that was just letting me know, and God was just letting me know. And he wanted me to feel that as well too. But I was like, oh no, we ain't going backwards. I was like, Lord, I said, I'm sorry. I said, I forgive me. I said, I'm just frustrated. I'm tired. I'm so sick and tired of dealing with this stuff. And I don't even understand why you have me even dealing with it. I've done nothing to this lady but tried to be a good neighbor. Or, the funny thing about that was they seem to think that they were being a good neighbor, and all they've done is taken advantage of, right? But anyway, so all I tried to do is just, live my life in peace in a sense, and be peaceful with the people around me in a sense. But once God had revealed the things that they were doing, behind my back or behind my husband's back at the time, in a sense, like through food and all that other stuff and so on and so on, like I just literally just pulled back my energy. Now she could be just pissed off because I no longer accept the things that they was dishing out before, whereas before I couldn't see those things. I mean, I've always dreamed in a sense, but God has revealed so much to me within the last 4 years of just things that have been going on, whether it be with family, things family was doing behind your back, or things that so-called neighbors were doing behind your back, or just people that you have been dealing with in general. So much was just being revealed, okay? And I know they say that, the truth can hurt in a sense, and it's going to piss you off, but it's going to set you free at the same time, because now I know what I know and I see the truth now. So therefore, with me seeing the truth now, I pull back my energy, and I basically don't have any conversations with pretty much any of my neighbors. My one neighbor to the other side of me, she spoke yesterday, but she really acted like she didn't want to speak. So I'm like, if you don't want to speak, don't speak, because I was going to walk out the house and not speak at all, But with that being said, that's just to the point of how much I had to pull back. And it's not the fact that I dislike them. It's just that I dislike how they have treated me in a sense when I've only tried to be real and 100% authentic with them in a sense. Okay, I was being me, and now that I pulled my energy back and I don't give them the time, energy, or the day anymore, it's almost like, oh my God, I guess she done changed now. Like, so, you know, for whatever reasons. But anyway, I can't speak on their behalf. But anyway, so let me finish on. So I want you to, I say all that to say that my lower back was bothering me, and as my lower back was bothering me, I just started surrendering to God. I was like, okay, Lord, I see exactly what it is that you're trying to tell me. You tell me that I'm on the wrong path, to turn back and get back on the right path in a sense. He was like, I'm not done yet. Just, that's all I was hearing. I'm not done yet, okay? I'm not done. Just be patient. Just be patient. But anyway, so with that being said, as I started to surrender and ask God and tell God that, you know, please forgive me for, you know, responding the way that I did in a sense. But again, it was to help somebody, okay? It was to help. This message is meant to help somebody. So as I asked for surrender, by the end of the day, because normally there has been times when my lower back was bothering me, like I want to say 2 years ago. My lower back was bothering me so much to the point that it was hard for me to sit down. It was hard for me to get up, you know, and just so on and so on. You know, you guys don't know this, but there's a lot of things that's attached to like the lower back pertaining to, you know, again, different relationships of people, whatever. So sometimes when that area is bothering you, that means that there's something that needs some sort of healing in your life. And I know that it's tied to different relationships, even if it's relationships dealing with the neighbor, whatever. And it's not the fact of me distance myself from the neighbor. It's just the fact of me just saying, you know, just keep going on and on about it, just about how much I like, oh my God, like I can't stand, you know, that individual and so on. And not to the point that it's like, oh my God, like I can't stand them. Not like that in a sense, okay? But again, it's just the act or whatever, because anyway, so by the end of the day, let me just say that before I knew it, that pain had dissipated. The moment that I had surrendered to God and told God that I am sorry, you know, please forgive me. And yeah, to please forgive me or whatever the case may be. So anyway, so with that being said, so that was letting me know that God actually heard my prayers. But anyway, so the next message that I received was, what else was it? This one was on June 5th. And June 5th, this is where God has said, which is so funny, right? Because I just got finished saying that, you know, Lord, please forgive me. But here's what the message God gave me on June 5th. He said, for those who have been seeking God diligently will receive a reward for their hard work. Okay? For those of you who have been seeking God diligently will receive your reward for your hard work. Okay? For whatever it may be. So, and then also, I also received the message of someone maybe going, I got the feeling like maybe somebody may be going back to counseling in a sense. Like maybe somebody used to go to counseling and maybe they haven't been there in a while, because I got the message that I got was relapse, okay? So this could be a situation of maybe somebody could be relapsing with anything. It could be alcoholism, it could be addictions, it could be, you know, food disorders or whatever the case may be, or even just something pertaining to mentally or emotionally, for whatever it was that a person might have been seeking a counselor for. I heard somebody saying, again, I heard it was like the person reaching out to their counselor and the counselor telling them to come into the office. In other words, like, yeah, you need to come on into the office. In other words, for whatever it is, it could be even, I'm even here, it could be tied to a relationship as well too. So maybe somebody could be going through a breakup, to the point that maybe years ago they went through a breakup that might have been kind of hard for them, and now they may be I'm here now, they may be dealing with that same thing yet again and needing to work through that energy in a sense. So, but I really think that this is tied back to somebody that either you used to date or somebody who is just a friend. Also, so keep that in mind as well too, okay? Because again, I heard the word relapse. Okay. But before going to in the dream, before the person went to the office, it's like the person, I get the feeling like somebody maybe either started dating somebody in a sense. Maybe they started dating somebody and then all of a sudden they feeling like they're relapsing with something. So I don't know, maybe it's relapsing with maybe responding or having the same pattern or habit maybe in relationships in a sense. So take it how it resonates, okay? It may be different for everybody, or that message just could just be for a few. And this last message came through, okay, yeah, I already said this one. I said God, I saw like God moving. It was either God or the angels, like moving and shielding me. I felt like was moving me and shielding me out of the way of the enemy in a sense, okay? So this was after the fact of, you know, where I saw where, you know, the next door neighbor was sending negative energy in a sense into my home or whatever. So with that being said, this is the reason why it's important to cleanse energy in your space, okay? So I say all that to say that, you know, the energy was so disrupted. It seemed like a few, like I noticed twice this week, I like burnt myself, right? And not only burnt myself, but my daughter had actually cut her finger. So I'm just trying to say that's just how much that's just how disruptive the energy can be. That's why it's important to cleanse your home regularly. If you got to open up your windows, if you got to, I don't have no sage over here, but if you got to get sage or if you got to get Palo stick, get you some and cleanse your home, okay? And then open up your windows and let that air out, okay? But just be sure you close your windows at night, okay? Because there are dark beings, dark forces that do prowl in the night and they can come into your home, okay? So keep those windows and doors, or keep your windows locked and shut at night, okay? Anyway, so those are all the messages that I have for you, but I hope that was helpful. But I'm actually going to pull some cards. I've been wanting to pull some cards for the last few weeks, but I've been, bear with me, I've just been a little busy, so. Thank you, Divine Spirit Light. What message do you have for the collective? What do you want them to know in regards to this message? What message do you want them to know, Heavenly Father? What message do you want them to know, Heavenly Father? That is a pure white light and pure conditional love only. What message do you want them to know? Whoa. We have stripping illusions. Hold on, because I'm being divinely guided for one more. Ooh. Psychic development. I'm going to read it from the book, y'all. Stripping illusions. Psychic development. Okay, so it says, the lotus flower is a funny plant. It flourishes in the murk and muddy. Apparently, in spite of the murk of its birth, beautiful petals open up layer after layers, revealing more and more of its inner beauty. You are being called to strip away illusions after illusions from your life. Illusions after illusions from your life. You are being asked to enable your true essence to shine through. Allow layer after layer to false beliefs, cluttered thinking, unfulfilled relationships. Remember I said the sacral chakra, the lower back was, so if you have any lower back issues that's due to different relationships, it could be any type of relationship with your parents, romantic relationships with other people, okay? Because we're all in relationships with people in some sort of way, whether you're actually dating them or not dating them, okay? So like I can be in a relationship with my neighbors in a sense because we have to live near each other, okay? So there's all different types of relationships. But I talked about the decluttering too, right? Declutter your thinking. And this is where God has said, if there's anything that you don't want, act as if you're tossing it out the window, okay? Or you can act as if you're tossing it in the trash. Unfulfilling relationship, chaos environments, to go by the wayside to reveal the perfect essence of your core self, okay? So yes, I just said that I had to go through all that to experience that, just for me to know that even though I'm not perfect and I don't get it right, God is still graceful, and he shows you mercy if only you surrender to him. Okay, so that was meant for me to experience that, so that way I can come back and give that message to you guys. Okay, so as I said before, and please remember me saying this, okay? I said that some of you guys are going to find yourself in a situation where you're going to feel like you're helpless, like you can't even help your kids in a sense, okay? Like, and it's not the fact that you can't help them, but it's just like, what do? This is where you call on God at, okay? You know, just like myself, like, although I was calling on God, but it's like, okay, Lord, you know, now she done mess with my kids, so. But anyway, but it's for a reason, okay? But so please, y'all, don't get yourself in no trouble that the popo has to get called in and nobody has to get hauled off to jail, okay? So it's not that serious, okay? I at least say, no, let me not say it's not that serious, because everybody is experiencing different realities. So let me not say that, okay? I take that back. So, yeah, just be mindful and listen to your intuition, okay? Anyway, so it says, we tend to hold on to the illusions we have created, thinking they keep us safe, okay? All they really do is to blind us to our true beauty or potential. This card is calling you to look your truth in the face and not let illusions cloud your view of the true beauty of yourself and others, okay? So I have to remind myself, she's doing all the stuff that she's doing, and sometimes I know she's doing all the stuff that she's doing in a sense, okay? And I have to remind myself that, you know, she's still a child of God as well too. But just imagine like somebody at school in a sandbox and they being mean and throw some sand at somebody, okay? They throwing sand at people because they themselves have been hurt. And I have to be reminding myself of that. But yeah, but no, I personally feel like, because our ways aren't God ways, but I personally feel like, but why does somebody got to stuff at the hands of your action just because you ain't been healed, okay? But nevertheless, again, that's what God is asking us, to let go of judgment and to allow him to deal with that person, okay? For however way, shape, or form that it comes back. Because remember, I said that I did saw an enemy and they was laid out on their ass. And I didn't tell you this part, but they was actually laying there crying in a sense. Like they were crying because they couldn't move. So I don't know what exactly happened, but this is the reason why God was just telling us, you know, again, to pray for our enemies. And I do. I say, you know, hopefully God will change her heart in a sense and allow her to be able to see the truth of the things that she does and to face herself in the mirror. So, but anyway, and this is the last card. So psychic development. The energy and healing work you are doing now will enable you to heighten your sensitivity to the energies around you and others. This will assist you in developing discernment. Discernment is the feeling you get in your body that signals you whether something feels right or wrong, okay? So that's why immediately I said, you know, when my lower back started bothering me, okay, that was a sign, okay? So I knew right then and there to start praying in a sense. And I want to say probably by the time I made it back home, or when I got home, I was doing something. I didn't even notice that my back wasn't even bothering me anymore, okay? So that's just how quick it dissipated, okay? Just with me accepting the fact and surrendering to God, okay? The situation you are inquiring about is asking you to use your discernment. You do not want to take on others' energy, yet you do not want to close yourself off out of fear, okay? Envision energies. Envision energy. Flowing through you like water. Taking on too much and you can sink, okay? So close yourself off. Offer a very different energetic experience when you let the water energy flow as it will and neither embrace it or fight it. And this is why I guess he was just saying that, you know, if you have an unwanted thought that you don't want, just act as if you're tossing it out the window and keep it moving. But before he actually gave me that message, what I had been doing is acting as if when a negative thought comes in my mind, like I got pissed and I was just like, oh my God, I'm sick and tired of this. Before then I was just letting it like, you know how, just imagine a shower, right? But I was imagining a shower inside of my head, as if the water was on the inside of me internally, like, you know, like how you go to the bathroom and you urinate or whatever. Just imagine, because you got to drink water, and as that water circulates through your body, it comes out the other end, in a sense. And that's what I was imagining, like the water was just coming out, not of that area, but flowing all the way down through my legs and out of the sole of my feet, in a sense, and washing the negative energy out. Okay. And then it says, when you let the water energy flow as it will, and neither embrace it or fight it, you're truly in the flow. Okay. So we're embracing it. You're not embracing it, meaning you're not taking it on, or you're not fighting it. Okay. You are truly in the flow, remaining at this elevated energetic vibration will allow you to tap into the realms of the psyche. Okay. I actually feel like I want to pull one more. I don't know. Guess there's one more message. Is there another message, Divine Spirit Light, that you have for the collective? Is there another message? And I would have gave y'all this message yesterday, but I was like, I need to take care of me, because it's just too much right now. Death. I know this is talking about dying to the ego. Death is very scary. Ending, whether they are planned or a surprise, are most often accompanied with the sense of anxiety, uneasy, or more strongly with the denial and refusal to let go of the person, relationships, or situation that is ending. Endings always signify beginnings. Okay, so even if it's not a person passing away, y'all, just know that we are dying to the old life and we embracing the new beginning. Okay, and I don't mean like this lifetime, I mean just like an old situation. Okay, possibly that has been going on, I'm hearing, like the last 20 years or just a little longer than that. Uneasiness, or more strongly with denial and refusal to let go of the person, relationship, or situations that is ending. Endings are always significant beginnings, as in a new beginnings card. This card urges you to let go gracefully. Do not attach yourself to the emotions and the energy of what is ending. You know, like myself, let it go. Feeling it, experience it, and then let it go. A slight shift in perceptive is sometimes all that is needed to experience this transition with grace and ease. Instead of thinking, oh no, I have to start all over, shift your perspective slightly and think, yay, I get to start all over again, is what it's saying. The shift will raise your energetic vibrations and carry you through this time of change. This card can also signify the ending of a troublesome situation. Okay, so for those of you, thank you, Spirit, I figured it was the reason why I was having me pull another card. So I say all that to say, for those of you who feel like you have to start your life all over again because it feel like it's crumbling, and you know, whether it be so much is happening, because so much is changing, because how can I say it? Because so much is changing in your life that you thought was gonna go with you, in a sense. It's happening for a reason, okay? Because you're gonna start new. And let me just tell you really quick before I go. I know I had to rebuild my life all over again, okay? So nothing I was doing, let me say 4 years ago, I was in early childhood education, you know, child care provider, or whatever the case may be, or, you know, but I say all that to say my life was totally different, meaning like God was like, no, that's not what you're doing anymore. You know, kids are part of your life, but they're not a part of you're not going to be in that setting anymore. Okay. So just imagine a big blunt blow to your belly with saying no. You're embracing a new path, okay? So with that being said, it was hard for me at first. It took me a minute to digest that, in the sense I was like, I don't know about all this spirituality stuff. I knew I've always had a relationship with God. I just never known about, the spirituality side of, just just the spiritual side of, being connected to God, in a sense. But with that being said, when you're telling me to brace a new path, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I only know what you have shown me, So with that being said, I'm no pro at that, but I do know from experience, just the things that I have learned, and, being able to embrace this new path. What I have learned is a beautiful thing, because I was like, oh wow, God, this exists all this time. I was just like excited. I'm just excited to just share it with people, for those who are willing to listen, because I was just like, oh my God, like if only people knew, but anyway, that's another whole story. But so with that being said, I say all that to say that, and I'm going to end it there. I say all that to say I had to restart my life all over again. Trust me, I got these plaques and stuff up on the wall, but that wasn't there before 4 years ago, in a sense. Again, like I said, I was in early childhood education. So, but those plaques are totally different. But now I'm just working for God. I've always worked for God, but now I'm working for him in a different way to actually help. I mean, I was helping kids at first too, but their souls as well too. But I can't do that in this next chapter of my life. So whatever you thought you knew in regards to yourself, if God is pushing you in a new direction, you're going to have to release that old mindset, look at it from a different perspective. Like you're no longer that's no longer your life anymore. That's how you're going to have to look at it, because now you're going to have to embrace something totally new for those of you who are being divinely guided to do so. But there's nothing wrong with starting over, because I told myself when God told me I had to start over, I was like, at first I didn't like it, but then I told myself, shit, let me make this my best life ever. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And, just with me allow myself to experience those things, it made me feel good about myself. Like I get to create who I want to be now. Like I can still deal with kids, but I'm dealing with kids in a different way, in a sense, okay? No longer in the classroom setting, okay? I am now in the labor and delivery room, okay? To me, that's a beautiful thing, okay? But anyway, so I'm going to end it there. So if you have to restart your life all over again, don't look at it from a perspective of like, oh my God, because just know, if you're like, I'm about to be 50 soon, right? So I'm 48 this year, right? But anyway, so I'm about to be 50 soon. But I say all that to say these latter years are going to be more better than your earlier years was, okay? So there's nothing wrong with that. At least you're going to keep yourself busy, because they say what? As long as you're keeping yourself busy as you get older, you keep your youth. But when you sit around and doing absolutely nothing, that's when people, this is just my terms, that's when people, what's the word? Dry up like a little raisin. I don't mean to say it like that. That's just the nice way of putting it. But anyway, so I'm going to end it there, because this video is already 47 minutes and 35 seconds. But I wish you all much love, much light, and I say peace and blessings. And I'm actually happy to deliver this message to you. So I hope you heard my story that is then in turn able to help you, in a sense. So even if you make a mistake, in a sense, just ask God for forgiveness, because he knows your heart. Now, if you're intentionally doing something and you're coming from a place of malice and, anger and hatred and all that other stuff, and you try to say, oh God, please forgive me, he already knows your heart, okay? He already knows. So I say all that to say that he is just and he is forgiving God, okay? He is a graceful God. And this is why he said, that the same grace that we want him to extend to us, we have to also extend it to other people as well too. So anyway, with that being said, I wish you all much love, much light, and I say peace and blessings until the next time. Oh, I do want to say this before I go. If you guys want to hear the full version of this story, I should have said this in the beginning, you're going to have to go over to YouTube, okay? And get the full message there, okay? So anyway, much love, much light, and I say peace and blessings. Bye.